1967, when my brother was 12 and I was 14, he and I were taking piano lessons from this teacher, and she wanted to have a Halloween piano recital. So let me just give you some background about this piano teacher. My brother and I had taken lessons from her, I would say, for a couple of years, and we had to see her weekly every Tuesday night. And so we would see her from 7 to 8 in the evenings. Now, when we would arrive at her house, she would greet us at the door. Now, she did not like me at all. So she would say, "Oh, you again." Whereas to my brother, she would go, "Oh, how is my fine feathered friend tonight?" Oh, you know, like that. So then we would come in for our piano lesson. And it's supposed to be a half hour each, but I would have only a 5-minute lesson. And so what she would do is she would tell me to, so when I'm playing my pieces, she'd go, "Oh, that's fine. Just work up these other pieces next week." But for the next 55 minutes, she would be telling my brother, "How are we tonight? Oh." And then anything he played, whether it was good or bad, she would say, "Oh, beautiful, just beautiful, oh, oh." And then his little hands on the piano, she'd go, "Oh, my," like that. So, so we decided that we would dress in Halloween costumes so no one would recognize us. So I decided that I would be a mummy. So I took some of my mom's very expensive white sheets out of her linen closet, unknown to me at the time, and had my cousin Linnea next door rip it up to shreds, in strips, and wrap it around my head and everything. Now, I thought she did an excellent job, but when I got to the Halloween recital, people were like, "Oh my goodness, are you all right?" Like, look, in other words, they thought I had been in a bad car accident, apparently. So, but my brother decided that he would go as a girl. So he was dressed like this. He had a white scarf on like this so that no one would see his bald head. And then he had gloves on so the teacher would not see his warts. And he was wearing a dress like this of mine. And he wanted to not wear high heels, so he's wearing, tennis shoes and so forth. So at the beginning of this thing, my brother is sitting here in the front row, and I'm sitting at an angle like this in the second row with somebody else. So we're here. So my brother's sitting like this. Waiting for the recital to start. He's like this. And so this gal next to me, I've never seen her before, and plus a lot of people were not in costume. And so I don't know who this gal was, but she says to me, so he's sitting like this, and she says to me, "Is he for real?" And I said, what are you, what? And she's, "Look at those legs. Look at how she has those legs crossed. I mean, she's sitting there like a boy. She says, "Who is that?" I said, "Well, she's, her name is Alice." How come I haven't seen her around the school before?" I said, "Well, she is new in the area, and she just started school, a couple weeks ago." So she goes like this, "Alice, those socks there, how come you don't pull up those socks?" So Alan, tries to pull them up like this, and then she goes, "Alice, how come you're wearing that scarf?" So Alan turns around and says, "'Cause I have a cold." "Oh, Alice has a cold. Oh. Now, Alice, you don't need a scarf on for that. Let me help you." And so my brother's holding the scarf like this so that she doesn't, take it off. Then she says to me, "I just feel that this Alice has some problems here. I mean some serious problems here." And I said, "Oh, yes, I feel she's a very strange girl." And so at that, my brother turns around like this and slugs me one, and so I had to stand up and put my hands on his shoulders like this and say, Alice, calm down. This is Halloween. Halloween. You know, like that, to get him calmed down. So pretty soon the piano recital starts up, and then it's my brother's turn to play the piano. So he goes up to the piano like this, and he couldn't play the piano with his gloves, so he goes like this, and so sits down to play something. Something like that. Then he's finished, and he walks back, you know, to his seat like this. And then this gal says, Alice, your gloves? So he has to get back up, and he goes like this to pick up his gloves, and then he returns to sit back down. And so this gal says, I just don't understand. Why is Alice wearing shorts? Why is she wearing shorts? What's going on? I don't understand. I said, well, you know, Alice does have a cold. In that area? What's happening here? What's happening? You know, like that. Now, after the recital, we go to back here for some refreshments. And so I didn't see this Alice again. And then pretty soon she shows up here again, and she says, do you see what Alice is doing over there? I mean, and that scarf, why is she wearing that scarf? I said, well, actually, what happened is, a couple weeks ago I said Alice got a very bad haircut. And so she decided, and she was so embarrassed that she didn't want anybody to see it. So she's wearing a scarf, and until her hair can grow out, or until it gets. Ow, Alice! So she comes up to Alice, to Alan, like this. Oh, Alice! Now there is no reason. You don't need to wear. I'm sure your haircut is not that bad. Let me just see what happened to your hair. Now, let me see that. It can't be that bad. So she pulls off the scarf quickly like this, and she goes, it's a boy. Oh my goodness, it's a boy. Yes, this makes sense. Oh, yes. Oh, thank goodness, it's a boy. Like that. And so I would just like to say, I would like to thank this gal, whoever she is, for making that the best piano recital my brother and I have ever been to. And thank you for watching.